YouTube, how's it going? John here at Herman Woodworks, here with my son Porter. We're working on some projects inside the house. Today here in Northeast Ohio, it finally decided to get cold, decided to make it winter here. So we are going to be putting some shelves up in the powder room behind the toilet there. I cut some black walnut pieces that we're going to hang. That's going to be a separate video. What I want to do a video on, though, it's going to be kind of part of it, is instead of using a traditional stud finder, I came across the deal at my local pawn shop. Shout out to Geauga Pawn. And on one of these Walabot DIY wall scanners. We're going to get this hooked on the phone. Porter's going to do some recording with the GoPro and show how this thing works. Okay, so for anybody that hasn't seen an advertisement for these on the internet, searching around, it's kind of almost meant to be like just seeing right into your walls. You can do it on wooden stud walls, actually on concrete. It actually does almost like a thermal. We'll do some demonstrations in the video here. From what I understand, the only thing is they're not compatible with iPhones or the Android tablets. I have a Samsung Note, so it won't be a problem on this. Supposedly up to 4-inch depth through the drywall and concrete. So let's get this thing hooked up, show how it works, then we'll do a little demonstration on it just so people can see the accuracy of it. Okay, so this has been set up before. So what it does is it comes with this piece that goes on it'll be on the back of your phone, if I can get it off here. On the top part of it, that's going to be dead center of where it's supposed to be scanning at. This part is like a sticky that sticks to the back of your phone. All it does is it has a port so that you can plug it into the port on your phone. It comes with the compatible cables inside of it here. Mine's like a USB-C on the bottom. So we'll get this thing hooked up and we're going to switch over to the GoPro. All right, so here we are. We have the Walabot hooked on. Like I said, this is the Walabot DIY. I think they have a 2.0 already, but it plugs into the USB-C port on my phone. Then this part connects in. You can see it's powered on. It has a little blue light. They give you a plastic film to put on the back of it so that it slides on the wall. You can see where the gel pad kind of glues it or kind of holds it to the actual backing of the phone. So we're going to get that. Like I said, when you're scanning it, you'll see where the top dead center is, but we'll go ahead and turn on the app. It brings up the app and it's going to ask you to calibrate it on the wall. It asks for access to the USB device. You say okay, and it's going to connect on. Walabot DIY connected, and it's going to ask you to, you can select between the concrete and the drywall mode. So we're going to go to drywall, and then it wants to learn about the wall, and it has a calibrate button. When you're ready, you put it on the wall and you're going to slide it back and forth. It shows you the circle pattern that it wants. It's going to ask for to do a certain pattern to calibrate it, and it'll tell you when it's ready to go. So we'll do that. All right, so we put it flat against the wall. We're going to hit the calibrate button, and it's going to say start calibration, and it's going to ask you to go in a counterclockwise motion, and it kind of keeps telling you to keep going wider and bigger. Just be careful not to press too hard. You don't want to kind of scratch up your paint. And then it says calibration complete. So it has different scan modes: pan, images, and the expert. Expert does almost like a thermal scanning of it. We're just going to do images. Click on that, and then it's going to start. You start the scan, and we're just looking for the sites. Right now it says no object detected. I'm going to bring it down. See right in here, there's a pipe or a wire that's coming across there, so that's going to be something we have to watch out for. It kind of shows the way the line and or pipe is oriented. So right here is wooden stud. It tells you when you hit center. Keep in mind where that center line is on the top of this. That's where you're looking for, so the edge. So what I like to do is I'll take a pencil, and when I find that area, it's telling me I'm right at center there. Okay, so right there, it shows you kind of marking the edge. So we're right there. So I'm going to put a light mark so I'm not marking the paint through the tape. I just put this tape up and then I slide over so I can find my other edge. So there's my other edge. And then, right, according to this, is center. And I'm just going really light. So then if you're looking at that, you see that's about 1.5 inches. So that's exactly what you're looking for, 1.5 inch stud. So that's probably going to be the main one we go on to. So there'll probably be one about 16 on center over here. So we're going to come across and find the other one. So right there, right here is the other edge. Like I said, I'm marking really light with a pencil. And that is the other edge. And then just to double check, and that is the center. My lines are all squiggly, but those are going to be the two studs that we're going to be using. And then just to double check, I'm going to slide up here and kind of make the same marks. So that way I can put a level on here. The center, and then the same over here. There's the edge. There's the other edge. And that is center. All right, perfect. All right, so that gets me my marks on the walls. Like I said, I did it really light because this is just a reference. I'm going to lay a level on here, get my wife in here to decide exactly where we want these shelves. I'll be able to level from this edge to the bottom edge, pick exactly where I want the shelves stationed at, and then that way I can tap them right into that stud, because they won't be holding a ton of weight, but you want them to be securely in there so that they're not dropping down, sagging. Next thing I want to do though is we're going to go downstairs where I have a one-sided wall where we can scan it on the drywall. We'll show you how we can measure on the actual back side of it on the stairwell so you can see, we'll check exactly how accurate this thing was. So, all right, so Porter and I are here in the stairwell going into our basement. This side is drywalled on the actual stairwell. We'll go around on the other side here real quick and show you how the studs are. We're going to go ahead and use the scanner. Go ahead and make the same marks on this yellow tape so we can tape it from this edge to where it finds the studs. We'll check it on the back side just to show in comparison exactly how spot on it is or isn't. Just so you see that we're not, what we got going on here. We'll go around on the other back side of the wall and you can see that it's the exposed studs. So that way we can measure from this edge with the drywall, measure down and check it. Let's get to it. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and check it, make our marks on this drywall side. So I got it on there. I'm gonna go ahead and calibrate it just so that it's used to this wall again. So I'm gonna do the same thing, just so there's no discrepancies in here. Okay, calibration complete again. So I'm going to bring it across. It says no object detected. So there's going to be two things on this edge. There's going to be the actual wood stud. So it's just showing it right there. And then there's also the drywall metal edge. So right in there, I'm going to go ahead and make a mark. So that edge, that's going to be your stud and the drywall. But then we're going to come across and see where we find this other stud. Okay, so bringing it back. this other side first. Okay, the edge is right there. Let's try and find. And that's the other edge. Okay, now this should be in. Go ahead and find the next one.
Yep, there it is.
Right there's that edge. And that's that edge. And just for something to mark, it's showing dead center of the stud being here. We'll come back at the dead center on this one. That'll be one of the easiest quick measurements. And it's showing dead center being right there. Okay, so let's put this away and we'll check and see how it measures out.
Should I stop?
Yep. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and measure from this edge. Obviously this is, no, that's gonna be about 1.5 inches. I'll measure down to the center edges on this also. Personal preference, if you guys find these Dixon Ticonderoga black pencils, love these things. Hold a super great edge. Other thing, these Milwaukee 6-foot tapes are great for having around. They're inexpensive compared to buying a bunch of 25-foot tapes. Keep one in your pocket, do a lot of stuff with it. All right, here, Porter, you wanna hold that?
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead and hold it here. So first one, just like we were saying, basically that 1.5 inches. So that's 1.5 inch. For the next one, we're getting to that edge, about this edge, 16 5/8. Right here, just shy of 17.5. This edge, 18 1/4. The far one, we're getting 32 5/8, 33 3/8, and 34 1/8. So let's go ahead and go to the other side and see what we're getting. So obviously there's the 1/2 inch drywall on here. So the full true edge is 2 inch. It was showing up at about 1.5 inches. It was having a hard time reading because of the metal flange that they put around for the drywall. But so for the first one here, yeah, I'm getting to this edge of it is 16 3/4. Dead center, just shy of 17 5/8. 18 1/4. 18 1/4 to that edge of it. So then over here, about 32 5/8. About 33, and we'll call it 33.5. And then this far one's 34 1/8. All right, let's compare these numbers. All right, I'm gonna focus going from the far all the way down to this one. So it's come in on here. So the first one, come on, phone. There we go. 32 5/8, 34 1/8. Come around to the other side. Pardon the mess, we haven't gotten everything cleaned up yet. So I said 34 1/8, 32 5/8. So I was spot on that. On the next stud over here, we had 16 3/4, 16 3/4, and then 18 1/4. Let's see what it measured on the other side. (16 5/8). Come on, lock in again. And 18 1/4. So literally just 1/8 of an inch here I'd say that's pretty spot on. Like I said, this one, you know, on this they run a metal flange here for mudding up the drywall. All right, so as for the measurements, obviously super stoked on that. Literally only 1/8 of an inch here. Everything else was spot on. So super happy with that. I'll show you the other little creature feature of it. Literally 4 creatures. Let's check it out. All right, so one of the other functions that it has is this expert mode. It's almost like thermal imaging. So we can press the expert, press start scan, and you can kind of tell the how far it's seeing into it. But say you have a potential worry about rodents or something like that, you think there might be something in the wall, I'll put my hand on the other side and you come across and all of a sudden bloop shows up. If it's small mouse, I've seen it where they show it, you can tell the imaging. I just have my hand just kind of blobbed on there, but here I'll just put my thumb, so you'll just see the small thumbprint image on there. For what that's worth, some people, you can say that, so that kind of zooms, it's kind of zooming in farther. I believe it's setting the depth in the wall, yeah, so it's showing kind of where it's at. My thumb's right there on the surface, so I can scoot it back and put it right on there, and that's what you're seeing. Could come in handy if you think there's something hiding in your walls and you want to figure out what it is. All right, YouTube, obviously this Walabot DIY has some other functions. I haven't familiarized myself yet with it, but I just figured I'd show you what I've learned on it so far. Is it necessary compared to just using a stud finder? Possibly not, but honestly, I have pictures of all these walls when they were being built, so I know roughly where all the things are. And if you're just really wanting to be spot on or accurate, or you're unsure of what's in the walls, say you're a contractor, I could see this thing being super handy where you're using it on a regular basis. For Joe Blow, just checking a wall to hang a picture frame, sometimes probably maybe not worth it, because I think these retail for over $100. I happened to come across a deal at a pawn shop. Couldn't be happier with it. That worked awesome. I was curious to see how the accuracy would work out on this. So until next time, YouTube, if you guys are new, please subscribe to the channel, and we'll talk to you again soon. Till later.
Bye.
Bye.